I'm really not sure why the media is sort of keeping this story quiet. It's coming out now, but the Supreme Court has two landmark decisions ahead. One has been made, and it's related to actually the 14th Amendment and a couple other amendments relating to voting rights. And well, it's also related to the Voting Rights Act that was passed in 1965. And what the Voting Rights Act in 1965 did was it gerrymandered certain areas so that black people who were treated badly in Jim Crow had some type of representation in the federal government, because in a lot of the southern states they made sure that there was no black representation. So recently the Supreme Court has decided that that is unconstitutional, and the fact that the 14th Amendment and 4 other amendments say that you can't violate someone, you can't make special preferences for people out of race or religion. So now what's happened is that the Supreme Court has given permission to remove all the gerrymandering that was put in for black people, and it could be a big cost to the Democratic Party, because they can lose 5, 6, 7, or 8 representatives if it's gerrymandered, if it's re-gerrymandered. The second piece involving the Supreme Court involves the president's tariffs. A tariff is a tax, and according to the Constitution, a tax or a tariff needs to come from the House of Representatives. The president is not permitted to have a tariff, or to present a tax, or make any funding requests without it coming through the House of Representatives. But on November 5th, the Supreme Court's going to decide whether or not the Trump tariffs are valid. Trump is using a 1964 law that allowed the Commerce Secretary to promote tariffs. Personally, I think because of the tenor of the Supreme Court and the way it's laid out, I think that most likely tariffs will probably be called constitutional. But what happens if it doesn't? If they say the president doesn't have the power to invoke tariffs, then all that money that was collected in tariffs has to be returned to its country that it came from, and it's going to impact the economy incredibly. A lot of things have happened this week. The war in Gaza looks like it's ended, and it looks like there's going to be a 20-point peace plan set up in the Middle East. Also, it looks like the Abraham Accords are starting to expand and take in other countries besides that. I think the president has in mind putting together a committee board for peace. Within the capital markets, it's been really strange. But the big banks have done well. Smaller banks have not done that well. Consumer spending, you got to be careful when you hear things about consumer spending, because consumer spending is up, but 10% of America buys 50% of the items. So if that 10% is doing well and the other 90% isn't, the numbers aren't really going to roll over. So a lot is going with AI. Most of the money that's been put into the market has gone to AI ventures, and the question is, could this be a bubble? The president is scheduled to meet with Chairman Xi in South Korea. He is also scheduled to meet with Vladimir Putin in the near future. Gold has been going up in price for two reasons. One, Chinese buy a lot of gold. And the second reason is banks and individuals are looking at gold as a backup to the economy. The inflation rate is 2.3. It's up 0.4. Not really a big deal. We think the Fed is going to have 2 more rate cuts this year of 25 basis points. A lot of the cryptocurrencies have been beaten up recently after hitting really big highs. Robinhood and Coinbase have dropped in value. NVIDIA has become the first $4 trillion company. There's a tremendous need now for energy to keep these sites, these huge AI sites going. So a lot of money is going into liquefied gas and nuclear projects like that. At this point, if you're getting something from the video, it's a good time to give me a thumbs up. JP Morgan has pledged $1.5 trillion to assure that America is at the top. Jamie Dimon, the CEO of the organization, has made sure that difference is going to be there. The U.S. government has taken a stake in some companies, in Intel, IBM, Novartis, J&J. If you don't know who OpenAI is, it's an organization, non-profit organization run by Sam Altman, and it's valued at $100 billion, and it's a private company, hasn't made a dime. Right now, the government is shut down, so any information, we're not getting information from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I don't know how the Fed is going to make their conclusions without getting the data that they need. America's also begun to start digging and working for rare earth metals because of the problem that's going on in China and them having us captured because that's one of their major exports. So that's the update. And please give me a thumbs up. And if you like it, tune in next time. Thank you.